Hey everyone, as some of you know, this is the week of the 50th anniversary of the assassination of John F. Kennedy. And that event is a linchpin event in the Zenny 62 philosophy because I was born August 4th, 1962. President Kennedy was killed just roughly a little over a year later. And that event has formed much of my generation and has had a dramatic impact on the three subsequent generations that followed. But the bottom line question is this. This case has been looked at inside, outside, and upside down. But one question has never been asked. Was JFK murdered by a conspiracy assembled by LBJ, or Lyndon Baines Johnson, the vice president who then became president of the United States when Kennedy was assassinated? A daring book by Roger Stone asked that question, and I had a chance to talk to Mr. Stone a few years ago, and I have to admit that I was a little put off with giving it coverage because his direction came from a right-wing perspective, and so it challenged credibility because it seemed that he had a bone to pick with LBJ because LBJ was a liberal Democrat. But if you strip that away, Roger Stone is right to at least ask the question, if only to give us reasons to shoot it down. The examples that Mr. Stone comes up with are innuendo. For example, President Nixon saying to him, Mr. Stone has actually worked for President Nixon. He's been a high-level political operative and even engineered the Florida Chad issue and recount that got or lost the election for Al Gore and got it for George W. Bush. But he again says that Nixon said to him that he wanted the presidency, but he just wasn't willing to kill for it. That really says nothing about whether or not LBJ would kill for it. There's also alleged ties to mafia leaders and other questionable types that were supportive of LBJ, and that reportedly, according to Mr. Stone, JFK was going to sick the FBI after and have it investigated, and that was going to get LBJ in a lot of trouble. But the bottom line is that on top of all that, Mr. Stone contends that had Kennedy lived, he would not have retained Johnson for the vice presidential ticket, or the vice presidential part of his ticket, the second go-around, should he have sought re-election, and there was every indication that John F. Kennedy was going to do just that. So those are the reasons that Roger Stone asserts that LBJ had a hand in the murder of John F. Kennedy. He says that he doesn't have enough to prove that this happened beyond a shadow of a doubt, and so you can't run to court on it, but he says there's enough coincidence there that when tied together causes you to pause and say, maybe he's got a point. I'll have to agree.